Yo, what's up, everybody? I'm just gonna bring in my one guest that's here already. No point in keeping him waiting, guys. This is Dr. Destroyo, Alex. Hey, man, what up?
What's up, Machi? What's going on?
Oh, not too much, man. Nice and an early Sunday for me. I never do anything in the morning, but I was trying to be mindful of my wife's time because she's watching the kids. So it's like I didn't want anyone to feel like, hey, I know I live streamed last week and I needed you to watch, but now I need you to do it again. So I was like, I'll do it in the times when Juno's usually sleeping. So I got a couple more people here, so I'm going to add them in. What up? Evil Guppy, EG Figs, and
how's it going?
Lumpawaru. Aiden, what's up?
Oh, Aiden, the guy
hello.
My figure. What's up, brother?
Yes, that's right. How's it going?
Going
How's
great,
everyone
man.
today?
I love it. Seriously, like it's sitting on my shelf over here. I pulled it out. The thing is amazing, and it's quality. I'm a guy who despises web lines. I refuse to do web lines on anything. It's just not going to happen. So I threw it on there, kind of like as like a. Let's see what happens, and it did, man. You did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
Really killed it.
I agree.
Tough.
Those web lines are intense, man. I can't do web lines.
and especially by hand. Like, if I'm gonna do them, I'm gonna do them with like a Gundam pen or something, because it's just hard to deal with a brush. But they're stellar.
When I did that spot figure with all the Spider-Man attachments, I had to do some web lines, and yeah, man, it was not enjoyable. And I used a Gundam marker too, and even then, by the time I got to the end of it, it was starting to look pretty sloppy. So yeah, I definitely I wouldn't personally do it, but yeah, they look good for doing them freehand. So
thank you. I used it's like a paint pen kind of, but I don't know what it was. When I started using it, the paint or something like clogged it up. It dried up like immediately. So I ended up having to throw it up and try the paintbrush. But
that was done with a paintbrush? Wow, that's
most of them. Some of them were before the thing clogged up. But yeah,
before it started, yeah. That's what happened with me. Was when I was doing that spot thing. Is like it started okay, and then it started to like miss spots and it wasn't good. I wasn't getting like a clean line. I was getting like a broken line, right? So.
And I kept buying pens hoping it would work, and then I just wasted a bunch of money. So,
which makes it all the more impressive. That was a brush. That's crazy.
Thank you.
That is. I agree. So I just wanted to have some people on, and there may still be some more people joining us. There was about I think 8 people who received like kind of a link. So a couple of them told me they weren't going to be able to join, but I didn't hear from the others. So we could still potentially have a few more people joining us. But I figured we could do this for about an hour and a half and just kind of go through some stuff and talk about the event, what you guys liked, what you didn't like, anything that kind of just naturally comes up. I didn't really fully intend on going through the entire lineup again, but we can definitely move around and go to some stuff that you guys thought was cool. I know Alex has only a short time with us here because he has to go to work, but before we get into everything, do you guys want to just quickly say who you are and your name on Instagram, and we can kind of go from there, starting with you, Alex?
Sure. On Instagram, I am Dr._Destroyo, DESTRROYO, otherwise known as Alex Arroyo. And I've been customizing probably for almost 30 years now, I think, somewhere around there. Yeah. I know in that helper group, I dropped my very, very, very first customs that I did. I don't know if you saw them, Matt, but it was on the old school Cops bodies. Remember that line, Cops?
Oh my God!
Cops and robbers.
I remember you sharing them in the group, but I don't remember.
I did a Crow figure. So I know it was circa like early '90s, mid '90s, and then a Bloodshot figure, and then an Iron Fist on those bodies, and that's what kicked off everything for me.
That's awesome. Very cool. Aiden, what about yourself?
Hello. So I'm Adhan, and I've been customizing for about 5 years. My Instagram is Lumpawaru_Baka, which is Chewbacca's son from the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I named it before planning to actually do anything with the page. So now it's kind of there.
You're stuck with it.
Yeah, now I'm stuck with it. But yeah, I mostly do Marvel and Star Wars kind of figures. been dabbling more with kind of weird, like different kind of stuff and video game characters as of late. But it's a lot of fun. I've learned a lot. These events are a ton of fun, and hopefully I'll post more consistently in the future. But yeah,
a lot of your posts are from these events.
Yes.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. The fact that we keep people active is a
true.
good thing to me.
I think I just need deadlines, so it's the only way I finish things. So, yeah,
I get it. Evil Guppy Figs, how's it going, man?
Hey, I'm Griffin.
Griffin.
On Instagram, EG_figs. I've been customizing. It started with Lego as a kid. I would sculpt and paint figures, but then I really got into the 6-inch scale probably about 10 years ago.
Oh, nice.
And then got really into it after COVID once I started to hone my skills.
that's what did it for me too, was being stuck at home. But anyways,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just want to thank you, Customs by Machu, and everyone for the group. This has been so fun. It's such an awesome idea to make stuff for other people. I think it pushes us outside our normal comfort zone, definitely for me at least.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun to see what other people make. I always love your end of the review lives because it's fun to see everything that everyone made.
Oh, shit. Sorry. We have another person joining us. We have Inglorious Draven. Hey, man.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going? How you doing?
Not too bad. I just got off work a few hours ago, so
Late night.
yeah, not bad.
Just going back to what you were just saying, Griffin. Yeah, one of the coolest things about this event, like that I really liked before I was like organizing it, was like it was cool to get figures from somebody else, because it was cool to be able to see, like, to compare my own work in my head to like somebody else, right? And like, you know, depending on what you get or who you get from, it's cool to compare your work to, like, you know, someone that you might like follow or that you followed for a long time. And it's like, you know, I think I've used the word multiple times on these streams, but like inspirational sometimes.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've gotten figures where like it completely changed my thought of where I'm actually at. Like, you know, it's like in some ways it's negative because it like kind of takes me down a few pegs, but also it like gives me something that I want to like work towards.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's one of the coolest things about this, is being able to see like, oh, how did somebody else tackle this spot where like I usually have a problem with it? Or, you know, it's cool to kind of see that. And then the other thing that's cool to see is like when we see like, you know, friendships build off of it, right? You know, like Aiden, I can't remember who did it with you. Was it Super Yeti where you guys did like an extra figure for each other one year? Was that you?
Oh yes. So he had sent me he got me it, and I had received a figure from him. I thought it was really cool and whatnot. And then all of a sudden he sends me a message saying, yeah, I actually finished a second one for you, so I'm sending that out. And I was like, whoa. So I really appreciated that. And it was after the deadline and everything. So I thought it would be cool if he sent me his list and I picked something from that. And
very cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Before we get
Draven helped me out with something I'm doing right now. I have a friend who commission. I really don't do commissions at all. Like for the most part, I hate doing them because I hate deadlines. And but one of my really good friends who just recently lost his wife had asked me to do a commission for him of a very obscure like 80s indie comic character named Faust. And I was intrigued by it, so I started building it out. But I had a really hard problem with the mask because the mask is very specific. So I was just talking to Draven, and he was like, "I'll sculpt it for you." Like out of the blue, nothing, wants nothing for it, just like the fact that, you know, we became friends during the event, and he did it. And this is the head sculpt that's there.
Hang on. Let me move you here and give you a full screen here. Hang on 1 second. It's harder when there's so many.
That's awesome.
Here. Okay,
it's one of the two that he did. He did, you know,
damn.
The tongue one there, and then he's got the non-tongue
That's
one.
awesome.
Wow.
In the process of working them out, but like I would have a really difficult time dealing with those horns and that, you know, and stuff.
Yeah.
Just building those out, and he banged it out in record time, and it's awesome.
I appreciate it, but your paint work is the only thing good about that. I'm telling you, the new ones that I'm sending you, it just looks better. Like I like even my fiance said, she's like, look, the last one was good. She's like, but this one you dialed it in. Like the cheekbones look better. Just everything about it looks better. And so
I realized when it was still unpainted that after I painted it, the eyes were a little too separated, and I painted the eyes where the eyes were, and he looked like Draven said it. He looked like Sloth wearing a mask. It was hilarious.
Yep.
So I actually moved him closer, and you really can't tell, but Draven's a good guy. But he's like, I'm going to go back and re-sculpt it digitally and send you new ones. So, which is awesome. I really appreciate it, brother.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Before we dive into any of the figures, Draven, do you want to just say hello and who you are and where they can follow you, and just so everyone had a chance to do that?
I'm Inglorious Draven, or Inglorious Designs on Instagram. My real name is Draven. I was named after the crow.
You were named after Draven, who runs the event. No, I was kidding.
yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll be honest, I've only been doing this for 2 years now. And I have no formal education or anything like that in sculpting or anything. It purely started because my brother asked me to do a Jimmy Hudson custom for him, and that was how it started. And
that's it.
Yeah,
the rest is history. That's cool, man. That's crazy that you've only been doing it such a short amount of time. I don't think I knew that. So,
yeah,
it's awesome. Good for you. Your work's really good for such a small time frame.
I've probably devoted a little too much of my life to it, but
I feel like that's probably relatable to every single person on this stream right now. Okay, let me see. Where are we at? Yes. Okay, I'm going to pull up the account here. And because Alex has got such a short amount of time with us, I just wanted to kick it off with his reveals for the event. And then we can kind of jump around. All right. Dr. Destroyo, you want to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, sure. So I know you guys are talking about this when you were doing the live stream that I had. So the first thing that happens, like the summer swap was the first one that I got involved with because I was a little kind of intimidated for a few different reasons. I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to deliver on a deadline because I do a lot of crazy things on the side. Like, I don't know, I'm a physician and I work in an ER, so that's probably the craziest thing I do on the side. But I was worried about the deadlines. I was worried about kind of like, getting the stuff that I wanted to get out there. But you know what? I said, fuck it, I'm going to jump in and see what happens. And the first thing I do when I get a list is like I just dig through my enormous spotter box that I have and just start yanking out parts for every figure that's on that list. And I'm like, all right, I could pull this, I could pull that, I could do this, I could do that. And then I have like this stack of stuff that I have to pair through and decide, all right, what do I want to do? So I knew that the Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman body was going to be perfect for the She-Venom and for that other Black Widow, that Ultimate Black Widow. And you guys didn't even call that when you were doing the thing. Ethan thought I painted those.
Yeah, he thought. Yeah, I figured you didn't, only because they were so consistent
perfect
from one to the other. Yeah.
No way.
I can see a perfect Venom logo there. Like D in the chat right now, Devon. He can do a pretty perfect. It's the consistency between both of them that I was like, okay, he's using something.
I do not work harder. I work smarter.
Yep, that's key.
I
work smart, not hard.
I'm going with that base figure every day of the week because then you got no paint rub, you got no prep, you got nothing from over there, and it's gonna happen. So the Spider-Woman, Black Widow from the that one right there.
Yeah,
she built on the old Julia Carpenter body, and I swapped out the Dazzler arms and the jacket, and the legs are from Silk.
Shriek?
They're from Silk because they're still pinned. Okay. They're still pinned. Okay. So she's the pinned one. And the head was from a Julia Carpenter that I just painted out the forehead from. And the hair, I had a hard time with the hair. I had like 18 different hair choices in front of me. I went on like a serial killer massacre where I started boiling all of my female heads and ripping their hair off. And then literally trying different hairs on them to see what I could do. And that came from the Black Widow from the Avengers 60th. And it just fit perfect. I did a little bit of paint work on the hands to just do the white on the fingers. and then I just put that little line on the spider's ass just to kind of separate her from the other one.
Right, I didn't
And
notice.
that was it. Like, it was super easy and it came together. For the she venom, I did the new Julia Carpenter body from the Avengers 5-pack. I was able to pick one off eBay for fairly cheap.
Nice.
I wanted a little bit of a bulkier body. Unfortunately, she didn't have the rack that I wanted because the she venom that's in the 90s had this massive rack, and I really didn't want to sculpt over the logo because I was just too lazy to repaint the logo. So I was like, all right, we're gonna go with 2024, pare it down. I just got my boobs removed. She venom over there. So I took the legs and the arm, like somebody said from Shriek, because she's pinless, and they all worked perfect. I mean, the second I dropped them on, everything was great on there. I took multiple hands. One was from the Shuri body, the new Black Panther Shuri. I kind of sanded down the hands.
Oh yeah, that's what those are from.
And then painted the white
The
square.
white on the back.
And the other hands were obviously from a Carnage figure that was there. The pulled apart, pieces of the symbiote are there are from just a Venom.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
The unmasked head is a head from Gozer from Ghostbusters because they have a similar haircut. She's got this weird, like early '90s kind of like weird pixie cut. That second head from the right is the old Toy Biz Spider-Man from when they just transitioned back over, which is a skinny little like thin head, so it fits perfect on the female body. The next head with the scowl with the teeth, that was from a Diamond Select Venom and Madness. It was on the backpack that he had with all the heads.
Ah, yes.
It's small and it was a perfect head because if you look at the comic reference, she has that grin.
Yeah, that big smile.
Yep, the head that she's wearing on that picture there is a head from a Carnage that I actually got from Mike D Creates. Mike, I bought a bunch of stuff off Mike, and he sent me a bag of his old customs. For some reason, he just threw them in there. They were like melting, and they were like all like disastrous. He didn't tell me; he just threw them inside there. So I've been parting them out for different things. The hands, the Carnage hands, actually got them from him as well, from that set. And then that head was also on there. He had sanded down the eyes, so I had to free paint the eyes without any
lines to
lines on there. Yeah, just do from there, which is good because it's so like amorphous that it works out.
Yeah, it looks great.
The crazy thing about that head is that it separates from the top and the bottom. Like when I heated it up, I went to the top and the thing separated. So I was able to get really good inlays for the teeth and for the mouth.
Nice.
Before I reglued it. And then the head that I'm really the happiest with is the reveal head.
I like that one too.
So I had bought a bunch of head casts off somebody off eBay, and they had a random I think it's an Emma Frost head cast. It was missing the hair, so it was perfect. I didn't have to pare anything down. So I took I think it's one of the Venom and Madness, like the actual heads. I split it along the jawline and separated it, and then drilled everything out, and then fit the head and fit the female head inside there. And then reattached the bottom jaw, repainted the whole thing, and then the tongue is actually removable. The tongue can go in the upper portion of the head, and it also magnetizes on the bottom portion of the teeth.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, these are awesome, man. I love these. And then Scorn is your last one too.
Yeah, Scorn was the last one. So those two were fairly easy. And the Scorn one, I was like, all right, I'm gonna push the envelope when it comes to doing paint stuff. I haven't airbrushed. I've airbrushed before. I'm not the best at it. Like I don't do highlights or shadows or anything like that because it's so difficult. I feel like I'm gonna mess it up. But she was initially a female beetle, lady beetle body, and then I threw some legs from some other random character on there. I don't know which female legs were, but I try to keep everything in the black and purple family because I knew that her design is so frenetic that I prepped everything. But even if I had some rub, it would be either purple or black that shines through there from the rub, so it's really not noticeable. And I know you were talking about it when you were doing the stream that she's got all these like little black lines that are hard to see on there, and all the the chrome lines that are coming through there, which were really easy to do. I mean, I just took it and I was just scoring it as I was kind of going along and just drawing the free form on there, which was pretty easy. And I did multiple arms for her. And the paint is the Turbo Dork which is the first time I've used it before. And those things are just amazing. I mean, the way they lay are great. The way they look are great. I did color shine initially, and then I overlaid it with a different purple that they had. And then I just had fun, just kind of like with hand drawing out all of the chrome stuff and getting to the point where I really liked it. And then I threw multiple heads on there. If you go to the head page for her, that initial head that she's wearing right there is a Lady Deadpool head that I shaved down the eye sockets for. One of the one that she was wearing
This one
previously.
here.
Nope, the one that she was wearing previously.
Oh, in the previous,
Yep.
The first one we were looking
Yep.
at.
Not that one. Nope, keep going.
This one. Oops.
That one. Yep. That's the Lady Deadpool head that I just shaved the eyes off of and then painted over. And then the
Nice.
other ones, there's a head that's kind of meant to be like an underhead. That's really not. That has meant to be like an underhead for the mask.
Okay.
I really wasn't happy with the way the eyes came out, but that was a Lady Deadpool. That was a Lady Beetle head that I kind of pared down. There's one image on like Reddit of her, like very like almost like robotic. So I included that mask. That's one of the G.I. Joe masks from like one of those Pythona, like the one that was in Target. That also came with Zartan.
Oh yeah.
I
Okay.
just repurposed that. I'm a king of scavenging and like getting stuff to do that. I hate
That's one of the most fun things about the hobby.
I hate sculpting. That arm came from an Eternals figure, and I finally made Eternals figure useful, which is great. So I had actually 2 Eternals arms on that, and just kind of pulled them out. The one on the bottom left, the second from left, is an old Lady Deathstrike from Toy Biz.
Yeah, I see it now that you say it.
To it. The sonic emitter next to her is from a DC. No, not the one below that. Is from
This
a
one here.
DC Cyborg figure that I clipped off and put on there. And then the upper portion of that is on the one above that one, which connects to the wrist piece. And that other piece came from like some like Dollar General, like, random toy that I had. And I was like, that was pretty cool. But the thing that I was really struggling the most with was how to build out that really big left arm. I pulled out a bunch of stuff out of my box and just was like, all right, I got to build this out. And I was like, because she has this massive like mech arm sometimes, and it's all in different kind of shapes and sizes. So I was like, I'm just gonna go freeform with it, and I had a hard time like building it out. And then my dad died in September, like when I was in the middle of this, and he's also a collector, and he's a big collector of Star Trek stuff. So like I'm in the process of like paring down his collection and absorbing it and/or selling it on eBay so I could just dump the money to my mother. And he had this really awesome figures from like the 2000s made by Art Asylum. They were like these Borg figures. I don't know if you're familiar with Star Trek. I hate Star Trek. I'm a Star Wars guy. But the Borg were aliens that would absorb other creatures and aliens and make them part of the collective in the hive. And there were these random like 3 aliens he had, like a Klingon or a Romulan or something else. And one of them had that crazy arm on it. And I was like, this is what I need. This is exactly what I need. So I took it. It was actually a left arm, but I was able to make it into a right arm because I yanked it out. I drilled out the elbow piece and put in a Legends arm in it that would fit into that peg. And the pegs actually come in and out pretty easy, and they're not really loose. You can see it's not so loose. It's kind of sitting up in the air there. And once I did that, I just chromed out some of the pieces and I just connected it, and I was like, this is perfect. So it was really cool for me to kind of use a piece of this collection to something that I'm like, giving somebody else.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. There's the sentimental piece of it too, which is cool. But
Yeah.
there's also the kit, your mind putting that together is also very cool. So, well, you did a great job on all 3 of these, man. It's hard for me to pick a favorite of the 3. I think I like Bride of Venom the best, but they're honestly all a lot of fun. So.
I like the Scorn one a lot. That one's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said that purple is Turbo Dork?
That purple's Turbo Dork. Yeah, it's
Nice.
I got it somewhere around here. Yeah, let me yank it out. I bought a bunch of them. It's People Eater
People Eater, yeah. Purple.
and I think Siberia, maybe the color shift one, or Galaxia. I don't know. I bought a bunch of them just to fuck with them, see what happens. But
yeah, I've bought a lot of Turbo Dork over the years, and yeah, they're great paints. So they get great coverage for metallics.
My biggest problem with this event is that I make something. I'm like, shit, I want to make it for myself now. Like I especially that score, and I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And I got the paint still, and it's an easy build. I'm like, oh,
When I think of all of the stuff I've made over the years, it's like usually my favorite things that I made in a year almost always are my Secret Santa or my Summer Swap figure. Pretty much every single year for the last like 10 years. Pretty much. So I can definitely relate to that. Okay, so next up we're gonna check out Griffin's figure. This is another one of them that I really, really like.
Oh, thank you.
Griffin, you did a fucking great job on this, dude. This thing is baller as hell. Like, I mean, like, the figure is really cool, but then when you add it in with the big wheel, it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, this takes me back to like 3 or 4 years ago when my buddy Stranded Customs was doing this with us. And he was like obsessed with big wheel, and all he wanted to do was make a big wheel, but he couldn't figure out how to make the wheel. So he like kind of just kept waiting to like finally find something, and it just never came. And yeah, this is great. I sent it to him and I'm like, dude, look at how sick this is.
Thank you. Yeah, it's always, I've gotten really lucky. This is only my second time entering, but both my lists I received had really fun, wacky characters, and that's what I think I've been drawn to. Painting Guardians of the Galaxy and the same costume over and over again gets a little exhausting, so it's kind of fun to see something completely new. And so when I saw a wacky Spider-Man villain, Big Wheel was the first guy I thought of. There's no one stupider than a guy that just drives a big wheel that can barely even turn. Is defeated because Spider-Man just steps to the side and he runs into the river. I love that. So it definitely was challenging because I've never done really a lot of 3D modeling. I've done kit bashing of just in like my Bamboo slicer, but nothing using like any sort of CAD software. So I started with the figure, who he was actually pretty tricky just because there's no good looks at him. I read all like 14 appearances, and it's always about the wheel. It's never about what the heck he looks like.
Yeah.
He's
so
not,
it's only
he's
ever
not called Big Human. It's called Big Wheel.
Exactly. So I decided to go with just kind of a little of an amalgamation of the 90s one, because that's definitely the best look you get at him. But I really liked the helmet design of his first appearance. I tried to get that stupid little fork he has that I think is supposed to be holding his glasses, but it just it was just so tiny that I couldn't get it to stick. And then working with that clear visor was driving me nuts, because it's the thing where if you bend it just enough, it gets that white tear. You have to make sure it's not actually creasing, it's just curving.
Right.
And then any super glue on it makes it foggy. So eventually I abandoned that. But he was a multiple man because I'm not good at paint rub. That's still something new to me. For my collection, good enough has always been my motto. It's just as long as once I lose inspiration or I'm like, that looks good enough, and that goes on the shelf. But when you're making something for someone else, you can't have good enough, because this is their collection. You don't know what their standards are, and you want it to reflect the time you put into it.
Well, I mean, I think I said this multiple times the first time we did this, but like, to me, it's not when you're looking at base bodies and you're trying to find a body that will eliminate the paint rub for you so you don't have to worry about it. That's working smart. Like it's if you can eliminate a step by going that route, all the power to you. Because the thing is there is a talent in just finding pieces that will prevent paint rub, right?
Yeah.
One of
I'm
my buddies used to be that way too, and he used to be in the events, and that was kind of his thing, is he knew his Marvel Legends parts library like the back of his hand, right? It's like, I need a red knee. Like who's got a red knee, right?
Have you guys seen the Fwoosh has a complete breakdown of every base body and every character that's been in it. It sections it out. I'll send you guys the link. It's useful because sometimes it's like, well, I want the Amazing Fantasy, but I need it in white color. Yeah, this color, and then it shows every single one.
That's pretty
cool. Definitely need to get better at that. There are times where I'm sanding a joint repeatedly, and I'm like, if I had Googled for like 5 more minutes, I probably wouldn't have to be doing this right now.
I'm assuming that list is like Bucky Cat, Bucky Cat, Bucky Cat, Bucky Cat, Bucky Cat, Bucky Cat.
Yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, I will say it's funny that you say that too, because like whenever I know that mine hasn't been revealed, but like mine was one that was very tricky to me because I wanted to retain the style from the comic, like the art style, but it was so hard to figure out like a body that would work the way it did. And I came up with something that I was ended up being happy with, and I'm excited for people to see it. I'm excited for the recipient to get it. But yeah, like it was impossible there for a while to figure out how I would even piece it together to keep the character's art style.
Yeah, I love the stylized figures. I think it's a lot of fun. Last summer I got to do one it was like a super skinny art style, so I went to the Fortnite characters because they're so wacky. And it's fun when they, especially like I collect legends mostly, so you want them to have a theme. But I do like when I see someone's list and they just really like that one character. For whatever
stands
it is
out to you, right?
Yeah, and that's what stands out.
I can't remember the name of the one you did for Summer Swap, but I also really liked the one you did.
Alistair, the radio.
Yeah, that was a really cool one.
I was say, did you do the one from Has Been Hotel, Griffin?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that turned out phenomenal.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Really,
he was
nice.
fun. And I'm very lucky with my list. There's always someone that just immediately, it doesn't take a lot of time. It's on my first reading, like, that's the one.
That's it.
That's the weirdo that stands out.
Speaks to me.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for this one,
sick,
it was
man.
Big Wheel. He was fun. He was, I got a bamboo earlier this year and just a lot of kit bashing and a few modeling. And it was mostly engineering that kind of took forever. It's funny. We have so much time to make this. And I'm always amazed when people make multiple figures because that means you were on it and you got it done in the beginning when you're supposed to.
I think
I will say that it's consistently the same people who are on time, and it's consistently the people who are late. But again, like I've said to some of the late people, is like, look, there's late, like, hey, I'm a week late or whatever, and it's like that just happens, The thing is, especially around that time, I get it, right? And I think I've said this to maybe even a couple of you guys in this group, is like,
yes, yes, he has.
Life happens, right? And what we want to see is we want to make sure we see that it's being, that you're working on it, right? It doesn't mean you have to commit your full life to it. We just need to see that it's being progressed. So I think as long as we see that, we're usually. And I mean, it's even nicer when we see that and then we see the final thing and we're like, okay, we're glad we didn't rush anybody on that because it turned out really great. So,
Can I actually admit something that I don't think I've told anybody else that participates? I think I've told you before, Matt, but that's it. Both winter swaps I have done now. With Dog Logan, the first time I ever participated, that one I was in the same boat where I saw it and I was like, okay, I'm going for that one. But then the last two winter swaps that I have done now, the character that I have ended up sending the person, I thought would be an easy, like, oh, I'll do this one and then I'll work on the one that I really want to do. Has never worked out that way. like, still hasn't worked out that way. I'm happy with the two that I pick, but yeah, like, especially Cranio, I thought Cranio would be easy.
Yeah. I don't know how you could look at that and think that would be easy. Like, I wouldn't even know how to approach that. Like, yeah.
I don't know. I thought it would be easier, but it did not. It was a pain in the ass.
That's the thing, though, right? Is it's fun to be able to try to work through. There's something about some difficulty. There's something fun about having something difficult to overcome. But when you're having to do multiple things, like even looking at Big Wheel here, it's like the obvious thing that would be hard to do is the wheel, right? Because it's like, especially for someone like me who I don't 3D model, I don't do any of that, right? So like, trying to figure out an organic way to do that, I don't know how. But I mean, aside from that, there's a lot of pieces of on the actual figure of Big Wheel that like I would stay away from. Like, I really hate doing shoulder pads and I really hate doing helmets. So both of those things would make me step away enough, be like, no, maybe next time. Like maybe when there's something better to use.
I figure without the wheel, you have to have the wheel. I mean,
yes. Big Wheel without the wheel is just big, and it doesn't. It's nothing.
He's not
Jeff.
a random loser, but no, listen, Griffin, that wheel is amazing. Like, just
thank you.
Like Matt said,
it's awesome.
I don't do 3D modeling. I don't do 3D printing. I wish I did, because you guys are like such on the next level when it comes to that, where you could do anything. Like, Draven did that Cranio, and he had the floating brain inside the clear.
So cool.
Yeah.
mind blown. And I was like, where did
Yeah.
that come from? He's like, oh, I modeled it. I'm like, of course you modeled it because I won't be able to part that on anything that I have. It's not going to
No,
happen.
it opens up a whole new world of what you can do. Like I'm still very new to it, but and sometimes it's just like a quality of life stuff. It's just like things that would take you forever to
Yep.
build and sculpt. All of a sudden, it's like just print it, done. Like
And when you do it that way, it's clean too. Like it's
Yeah.
everything's straight, everything's uniform. It's not.
yeah, this is a lot
Oh.
of math. Trying to bake this out of styrene would be a nightmare.
Yes. Oh
It
my
would never
god.
work.
Because see, that's going back 5 years. That's what we would be.
Yeah, that's what you'd
we
have
would
to
have
do.
done. We
Yeah.
would have built this.
But
with
now that you can
styrene.
get a printer for under $1,000, and that just opens up everything.
Yep.
It's really
Yep.
fun. There was a lot of engineering I wish I could have thrown
What
to
you
this
do with
guy.
3D printing, then I'm frightened to see what's going to happen in 4 or 5 years when you're actually when you tell me you're actually good at it. Guys, I'm going to bolt. I got to go to work, so it's been a pleasure. I'll
Take it easy,
All right.
Alex.
If
Thanks,
it's not
Alex.
crazy, I'll probably pop in and out and be on the chat over here too. But it's been an honor hanging with you guys. It's been an honor in the event. I really enjoyed this place. Hopefully, I'll be here for a while.
That would be great. We'd love to have you. So have a
Yeah.
good day at work, and yeah, we'll talk soon.
That's not up to me. It's up to the kids of Brooklyn, unfortunately.
Well, hopefully they have a good day.
All right, guys. Thanks.
All right,
Take it
see you,
easy.
dude. All right. But yeah, man, this thing is freaking beautiful. You know, I can't stress that
Thank
enough. You know, I hate to pick favorites of the event because you know it's like I'm so proud of everything everyone does, and you know, again, I think I said this last week too. Is it's like, you know, there are 2, maybe 3 exceptions to the rule here, but it's like I feel like everybody like really stepped up this year and like really put their best foot forward, and yeah, like I'm super, it makes me so happy to like be part of this group because I feel like we have such a good group of guys, and I feel like everybody is in it for the right reasons, which I haven't always felt that way. Maybe not so much since I've been running it, but at least in the years before I was running it, there was definitely lots of times where I feel like people were just in it for a figure. And like, I don't really get that vibe with this group, which is really, really nice. So it's nice to see everybody's kind of doing it for the right reason. And in turn, it's creating some awesome pieces of work that I think everyone's benefiting from. So yeah, it's very awesome. Job well done.
Griffin, I
This
gotta
is
ask real quick: is
amazing.
it filament or resin?
This is filament. I have not
Okay.
entered the world of resin yet. That
Oh.
one's still
No,
very
don't
daunting.
do it. Do not do it. It is miserable. It's just a mess.
It takes forever to calibrate. Yeah, plastic liquefying. I can't even imagine the stinky,
Yeah.
smelly
Yeah.
liquid chemicals. That sounds like a nightmare. But it can do stuff that filament can't do. It's getting
That's
close,
true.
but it'll never be there. For heads and stuff, I still send it off to someone
Yeah.
who can print it
That's
because
fair.
filament just can't get that detail.
Yeah,
But for
for
Big
sure.
Wheel, it's so massive that was the thing we talked about, Matt, I was worried about how big it was going to be.
Yes.
Because you don't want to give someone something where it's like, what am I
They
going to
can't
do with
display
this?
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have no room for this.
Again,
So,
I think you found a perfect balance here.
It's
Like,
a
I
perfect
feel like
scale,
it's
yeah.
like it's just big enough that it'll fit into a display. It'll
Yep.
be the centerpiece of a display without taking up the whole shelf.
Yeah, I think I tried to keep it just under 12 inches. 'Cause I thought for like your IKEA bookshelves or whatever,
Yep.
it should still just be able to slide right in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no.
His
these
name
are
isn't
amazing.
Gargantuan Wheel, so that's good.
Yeah, it's just-
It's just
Well,
big.
This
And
is
it works
big.
perfect too if they have any of like the motorcycle legends that they've
Yeah,
got.
Yeah,
the
the
You know what I
riders,
mean?
yeah.
Like it fits in great.
Totally. I also have to
There's-
commend you on your not only your good packing job, which I won't lie, I get to see behind the scenes on a lot of packing jobs, and sometimes they're less than desirable. But I also have to commend you on this piece too. I just love little things like this that just really sell the experience of the event, and yeah, I think this is just fucking perfect. So
That's
Yeah, thank
kudos.
you. I think
kudos
it's fun
you.
to try to. It's the teaser for the person that has no idea what they're getting. They've
Totally.
waited months, and then they get to open and go, "Oh my god, is this what I think it is?" And then it is.
Yeah,
I wonder
man.
if this person had that moment where their figure arrived and it's like this massive box. And like, it's big wheel. Isn't it?
What is this?
I think I remember him saying like, "Oh, that's a big box." I'm like, "Yeah, man,
You know what
you're
else is
fucking
big?
in for it. You're in for a treat, dude. It's fucking fire."
It's awesome.
Oh man, that's awesome. All right, Aiden, let's go to you.
Okay, so this was one of those where as I was reading the list, the moment I read this one, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
This is it.
Daredevil's my favorite Marvel character. Spider-Man probably a close second. So I thought this would be a fun one. I just thought about how cool it was, not about how annoying it would be to paint webs. But, so the immediate place that my mind went was that there's a body mold that Spider-Man and Daredevil both share. So I thought it probably made sense to use that one. I used the VHS 2-pack Daredevil for the body, just because it was the more accessible of the Daredevils for sure.
I love that Daredevil.
Yeah, it's very cool. So I used that for most of the body. The only thing was the calves were from Spider-Man to try to reduce webs where I could, which wasn't very much, but it's something. All the hands.
Did you use the feet too?
Yes, the calves and the feet were from
the
the Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. I included all the hands that would normally come with a Spider-Man figure. The only difference being the grabbing hands from the VHS Daredevil. The heads were just, I took the VHS ones and sculpted spider eyes over them. I tried to make the eyes a little bit squintier for the angry head.
Yeah, they look good.
It works. It totally works.
Oh, yeah.
You did a good job symmetry-wise, and you did a good job matching both heads too, because they look pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Is this Matt or is this Peter in the suit?
You know, that's what I was wondering. There's one piece of art of this, period.
Gotcha.
This design. I don't think there's anything further than that. I don't know if this is Peter Murdoch or Matthew Parker or one of them cosplaying as the other. I don't know what's going on. I was debating making an unmasked head, and then I was like, I don't even know where I would begin with that. Would it be a Matt Murdock head or a Peter? I don't know.
Also,
or a blind Peter Parker? I don't know.
I'm sure the webs sucked, but I also have to commend you on the Daredevil logo. Like,
Yes.
it's not easy to pull off those D's on Daredevil
Nope.
sometimes. Like,
Especially with the black border on it.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it's clean.
Yeah,
Ordering
so,
stuff is rough.
I pretty much just used the VHS Daredevil as the base for the logo. The only thing I did was the black outline because it's just, they kind of just have shadow around it to just kind of suggest the logo more than like outline it. So I outlined it. I added a spider symbol on the back, which I thought it was safe to assume he has. But I don't know, because that's the only image of him. I used some planters wire for the webs, which was just one long piece, and then another piece where you'd wrap it and then make it a bit loose, wrap it some more to give it that kind of disorderly web look that it should have. And it would also allow it to pose and everything like that. And then after that, it was mostly just paint work. So yes, I mentioned it earlier, but I had this kind of acrylic pen kind of thing that I was using for the webs early in the process. I don't know what it was, something about running them through the red that I had painted for some reason did not, it made them wear out like super quick.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to cope in my head and like, that was probably just a bad pen. I bet if I buy 3 more, those are going to work. And then I just wasted a bunch of time and money. And then
Cool. All of those are ruined after using them for like
they
2
were,
minutes.
yeah. So I had to basically call it in and go, yeah, I'm just going to use a paintbrush, which is most of them, like the whole bits and the armpits and everything were with the paintbrush.
We're all done with the brush. Nice.
Mhm.
Well,
Also,
aside.
sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just one thing I forgot to mention I did earlier is I noticed also in the reference image, the clothes are a little bit baggier, whereas
bring that up.
Oh yes, okay. Whereas that body's like, six pack
tight.
and skin tight Spider-Man kind of look. So I filled in the abs on his stomach, and then everywhere there was a joint, I sculpted wrinkles which also made it look pinless, so it worked, had that kind of benefit too. But so yeah, all the arm joints and the knee joints I sculpted wrinkles along his kind of crotch area, because that's where it kind of bags up a bit more in the image. And then I put just a seam with an X-Acto knife, like a seam down his kind of stomach, because that's there in the reference image also. I didn't want it to just look like a straight up repainted figure. I wanted to capture some of that kind of fabric look.
I don't think anyone would think that. I was just gonna say that your fabric folds on these him looks really good as well. So
thank you.
I'm gonna be honest. Had you not said anything, I thought you found just some like hips that already had like a wrinkled fabric look to them.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I thought it was just that way already.
Well, that's
yeah, 'cause you did it on the elbows, you did it on the legs, you did. Is that on the
that
butt
was
there?
I don't know what it is about Spider-Man. They only wanted to have butt.
Spider-Man likes butt wrinkles.
Yeah, he's skin tight everywhere but there apparently. But
he likes a little looseness for the junk in the trunk.
Yeah, it has to breathe, like
Yeah.
But, yeah, so that was the process for that.
That's awesome, man. Well, he turned out really great. So
Yeah,
another good entry from you, and yeah, it seems like Alex is pretty stoked on it too. So that's also.
I'm also
awesome.
glad he caught a picture of the back, because I realized after I sent it out, like I didn't take any pictures of the logo on the back.
That's the hardest thing about when you're working to a deadline and you like just get there. It's like, shit, I forgot to take a picture. So
yeah,
that's awesome. We can't go over Inglorious Draven's reveal yet because it is still en route. But yeah, I'm excited for everyone to see it. It's another one of those ones where it's extremely creative. There's a specific component. I like the whole figure, but there is a specific component that I think makes it very, very interesting. And I cannot wait for that to get revealed.
Is it also butt wrinkles?
It is not butt wrinkles, but yeah, I think your recipient's gonna just fucking do a backflip over it. So
I really hope so. Like I said,
I think he's going to.
I was so upset with myself because I've talked to Alex about this a little bit, as much as I can without giving anything away, but like. I had so many plans because I was like, I'll just knock these two out because they'll be easy. And then I'll work on the one that's going to be a bit more intensive. That is not how it played out, even in the slightest. But I am very happy with this one. I'm sure you can tell by now, Matt, but I really like including like old school. I mean, I'll be honest. So I turned 30 this year, so I don't know anything about it. But like growing up, I had some of my dad's toys from like the 80s and the 70s and stuff like that. And I miss old school nostalgia in toys, like with Cranio. How I added the snow globe fluid into the head. Like I like stuff like that. So that's kind of like I would like to keep a theme of that as much as I can, and eventually I'll figure out Kent Armstrong. But
what up, KJ Smith? How's it going, man? Yeah, no, that's I'm super eager for yours to get revealed. I can't wait on multiple levels. For the figure itself and for your recipient to get it, because I think he's gonna really like it. So,
and I got a bone to pick with your country, by the way.
Oh yeah, I know we got shit going on. I mean, in fairness, you guys got shit going on.
This is true.
But yeah, we'll leave it we'll leave that conversation for another day. But since we can't really talk about your figure, Draven, is there anything that you wanted to go back to from this year's event that maybe we could bring up and start kind of moving through some of the other people's reveals here?
Okay.
Or?
Well, so the one that like I saw that I was just like, again, and I said that I already told you this. Everybody just crushed it.
They did.
But man, I've told you since I think last winter swap, I love custom ideas, and the obviously I loved the one. I loved what I got because 100%. Whenever I kind of guessed it, I will say whoever was editing the photos for the teasers did not hide mine well. But that being said, had no clue I was getting a second figure. And
'Cause
so
yours was this one, right?
yes, Major Glory and
Yes.
Monkey from
Oh, that
Dexter's
one's
Lab.
great. That one's awesome.
These are awesome.
So this was done by C. Rob, not Crob. And he was here earlier, but he might not be
Was
right
he?
now. But yes, I'm not familiar with this property, but I remember when he sent me
Dexter's
the
Laboratory?
monkey.
Dexter's Laboratory, right? Yeah.
Yes, I remember when he sent me the picture of the monkey the first time. I was like, "That's gonna be fucking cool, dude."
Well, so not only is it cool, and I don't even know if I mentioned it, the tail is a bendy tail. That was already awesome.
That's
Yeah,
neat.
there he is.
What up, Chris?
But like, so the tail's a bendy tail. And then I mean the packaging, like that was also something I didn't expect at all. And then he like just the fact that he did his like again, he did his research and he included like little tidbits from the show within the show.
There's like a
That's
little coffee hand or something with a pinky.
Yeah,
up or
the
something,
coffee
right?
with the pinky up,
I think
and
I
then he
got
also had the fruit like the fruit pie snacks. And like he sculpted that hand holding the fruit pie snacks, and I was just like, dude, this like again, I was just blown away by the level of like just how far he went. And then yeah, like I don't know, like I said,
Yeah.
overall he did a great job, and it was something I did not expect.
There you go, fruit snacks.
Yeah.
Roll up or whatever. There you go, fruit pies. That's funny.
That's really good.
Yeah, this turned out great. This turned out great. Chris Chris is another one who he never fucking takes the easy route ever. He
Yeah.
always fucking picks something on his list that's going to challenge him, and it's pretty
I will
awesome.
say too though, another reason why I was so impressed with Monkey, Chris, what kind of fodder are you sitting on? Because I'll be honest. I mean, I've been collecting for a while. That body he used for Monkey had to have been made like 10 plus years ago at this point.
I believe he said it was some kind of like 1/18 scale wrestling figure of some
Really?
sort. I
Okay.
think I might be wrong, but I feel like that's what he said when we went through them all last week.
Okay. But yeah,
I
no.
love those spread hand feet. That's so
I
smart.
do too.
It's really
I
good.
I
Yeah.
just made a hit monkey and I couldn't find. I was like, I don't know where I'm going to get monkey feet. That's
It's,
genius. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah. Whenever I pulled it out, I was like, that is an ingenious way to do that.
Says he has so much fodder, so much.
I just want to say that, like, I have a lot of respect for people that pick like cartoon characters and things like that, because I think that would just be so hard to.
Yeah.
Like, if I was reading a list and a cartoon monkey was one of the things, that would be like the easiest skip in the world. I'd be like,
Yep.
nope, I'm not even touching that.
And that's what's so cool is the monkey wasn't on the list.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
it was
He
Yeah,
did
it
the
was just
monkey
Major
with-
Glory.
That's so
he did
cool.
the monkey with
That's
Major.
awesome.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, so he went out of his way to bring challenge.
I mean, I don't think Major Glory is all that easy either. Honestly,
No.
like
It's
No,
white.
those-
it's
Stars are
white.
cool.
It's white and it's stars. Like fucking
And-
pass, man.
Yeah, 'cause
those are
those are
sculpted,
both
right?
big
The
passes
stars?
for me.
Yeah, the stars are sculpted. The
That's
head
tough.
sculpt is that. Yeah,
It looks awesome.
yeah.
That's
He
really-
he did a great job.
Yeah, he sure did.
Again, I will say it's funny that you bring that up too, because that was another thing that I was blown away by is just the fact that he got such a solid layer of white. Like
yeah.
it in person, you cannot see through it, and I'm like, okay, I know for a fact they never made a white Hyperion buck,
Nope.
and so yeah, I was blown away by that too, and yeah, he just did a great job.
That's awesome. I'm glad you liked it, and I'm not surprised that he did, because Chris does great work. So
It's really good.
in no way surprised. So yeah,
And yeah,
that's awesome.
I mean, again, kudos to him for just bringing it on himself.
Also, I
Agreed.
want to say there's kind of like a shading in the blue areas that looks really good.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
really good effect too.
Yes, I agree. Almost looks like denim a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Like
it's
a
Heavy
it's
dry
cool.
brush. Yeah, very, very cool. That's awesome. Aiden, what about you? Anything from this year that really stood out for you? Whether it's the one you got or something else, or
Yeah, I
Anything
definitely
else?
need to talk about Muse. I have to. That was a very pleasant surprise.
all right, where are we going here? Was it?
I think he's for there. He is.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah. Wow.
So this was
one's
made by
awesome.
Custom Famous J. I also have a figure from Famous J, and I am very happy with it. So
Yeah, this came out super cool. It's a very, it's one of those where when I opened it, first of all, the packaging. Yeah, that
that packaging is fucking
That was
baller.
so
It's
cool.
so good.
I took the plastic off, opened it, posed it around, then I put it right back in the box because it's like it just looks so good. But it's one of those where as I was posing it around, I really could not tell what was used to make it. It was really interesting. So he ended up posting the list, and I have it here. It's like a mix of classified and an NBA figure, a wrestling.
Yeah, that
figure.
torso is an NBA figure, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's insane. So it came out super cool. The paint job is really awesome. He has that kind of grimy, disgusting look. One thing that's super cool is the accessories because
Yes.
they weren't visible in the packaging. So I was already blown away when I opened it. And then when I took it out, it was like just such this, I could tell he did his research of like, he didn't just look up a picture of the character and then make it. He went and read. There's like for instance, he has these pair of broken finger hands, which is basically from one scene in the whole run, like a blink and you'll miss it moment. So he had to go through and read. Yeah, right there. He went through and clearly read appearances of the character and things like that, and tried to incorporate as many little accessories and things that he could. So he's got a spray paint can, one that's in use, a hand where he's spraying, a tray
I love that.
with like an organ on it. Yeah,
I love that.
it came out so cool. And I asked for this before knowing that that Daredevil or that Muse is going to be in Born Again.
Yes.
So,
that's right.
So that was kind of a cool timing thing that worked out too. But man, this looks awesome.
Yeah, he did a really good job. Not that I'm surprised. He consistently puts out good quality work. So in no way shocking that this is such a cool figure.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
I love that paint job too. I like how
Yeah.
the blood kind of looks like you got like, it kind of like it's not a smooth transition to the white, so you kind of it looks
Even the
grimy.
white has this almost like stone-like texture to it. I'm curious how he did that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's not just a clean like white spray. It's really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
there's a grittiness to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And normally I can't stand that like diaper style crotch piece, but this makes it look really cool.
Yeah.
Plus, he
It
probably
works
gets
so
nice
well.
movement at the waist too, right?
Yeah.
It does.
It's
Yeah,
super posable.
but no, it looks awesome and
Also,
super faithful to the art. It's just
Yeah.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
What a creepy
Yeah,
dude.
that's awesome. Yeah, totally fucking
The
creepy.
character.
I'm also I'm always impressed by people that get phenomenal like joint prep work.
Yeah.
The fact
Oh,
that
yeah.
that white held and you're
Yeah.
posing it like it's nothing. Yeah, he did a great job.
Oh,
Yeah, you definitely put it through the ringer on your with your pictures and stuff. Like he's definitely posed up nice. So
Oh, he was so
Obviously.
much fun to shoot. I had to stop myself. I had to remember Instagram has a picture limit. Slow your roll.
yeah, even that, like that's fucking creepy. But that box art, everything, the box. That's
Yeah.
one thing I will say that I was sadder that like we didn't see as much of this year because I thought last year everyone did such a good job with the boxes, but we definitely saw less of it this year. But
I need to up my box game next time. Normally I
Oh
do
my
something cool. This time I was like,
I-
I'm putting
I
him in a
still-
GI Joe box with bubble wrap.
I just don't know how to like do anything like that. I don't have that skill set, so yeah, it's hard.
I will say the only problem is the illusion that you can get a figure for $12.99 hurt a little
Yes,
bit.
that's some bullshit right there. At a Toys R Us too.
I know. Had to rub it in even more.
Yep.
But no, it looks amazing. It's
I mean,
really
I could go to a Toys R Us, but I don't think I can buy anything for $12.99 to a Toys R Us.
Yeah,
Nice.
it looks great.
Awesome. Well, good call out because that's a good one. Griffin, what about you? Anything stand out for you?
There's so many.
Yeah, I know.
Even like as you scroll, I keep going like, oh, I forgot about that one. That one's so cool. But I have to shout out the one I received from Hypno Hustler, the Shi'ar.
Yours is
Imperial
one of the
Guard.
first ones that
Yeah.
was revealed.
I studied that mentor head for so long to try to figure out how the heck he did those Brainiac things, because it's so clean. It's
is
a
clean.
perfect little tube, and that's one thing you mentioned earlier, like comparing people's work. I love just seeing like, how the hell did they do that? And
Yeah.
it makes you want to try it on something else. The bodies
Yeah.
for both of these are great picks, but it's that head. He drilled a hole, and then it's a styrene tube that then he inserted into the head and then cut it. So it's a perfect circle.
Really?
Wow. That's
Yeah.
Wow, that
I would
looks
not have thought of that. That's such a good
neither.
idea, though.
I thought
Yeah.
that's so
Genius.
smart. And I think between is just super skinny styrene, but to get any sort of dial or circle anywhere on a character, I'm going to steal that because it's so smart.
I'd be there
It's
trying to
smart.
sculpt a
Really
circle
cool.
and then changing projects.
Yeah, and try to dent one in. Like it just does. It never will look like that. Like that's
That looks
Yeah,
that's
those are
such a good idea.
perfect.
Yeah.
Does it
that
go all the way around the whole head, or is it just on the front and the side?
no, it's a whole crown. Yeah. it
Oh,
goes all
nice.
the way
Wow.
around.
I'm not
That's such a
familiar
good
with the
idea.
character, so I
I
Yeah,
love
so
the
I'm not
cosmic
really-
stuff, and even the Shi'ar. They're basically just parodies of Legion of Superheroes. But
yeah.
there's so many of them, and they're so kind of just like the Legion, so goofy. That's like, and they're always on my list of like, whatever you want. Because
They all have such
Add it
weird
up.
looks. So.
yeah,
And we know they're not going to make all of them. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not likely that these guys are going to see official figures.
yeah,
No, and that's another thing. About my favorite thing about this whole event is that it is like a lot of these are one of one. No
Yeah.
one else has these characters,
Right.
especially
Yeah.
one made by that person. I think it's really cool.
Yeah,
It's
it
like
is.
everyone has their Spider-Mans, but no one has a Daredevil Spider-Man.
Yeah,
And it's really cool to see that that's one of one. That's it. It's the only one. Hasbro's probably never gonna make it. Those are the coolest ones.
Mhm.
That I will say that was what I thought after I had gotten the pictures and stuff and posted Major Glory. I was like, well, now I guess I got to do the rest of the team from because I was like, dude, I was like, nobody else has Dexter's Labs action figures
Yeah, right.
that he had in
Yeah.
the show, and so
He got the monkey out of the way for you, though. So that's
Yeah,
a good
exactly.
start.
yeah. He nailed one of the difficult ones for you.
yeah,
So. And then this whole group shot is also
That
just
is
really
awesome.
good.
That is
It's
cool.
So good.
Yeah, I'd
that's
love to
dope.
continue expanding them because they're all so different and weird.
Yep.
I haven't gotten the official Lalandra yet, but
I don't
This
know.
one-
I think that one looks pretty damn good.
oh, thank you.
I'm about to say, did you make that, Lalandra?
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
That was-
that's
like that.
phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah, just stick with that one.
Don't even
The
bother.
actual one
Don't even worry
doesn't
about
compare.
it.
Yeah, that's a nice looking Lalandra for sure.
I will say
That's
this
a
is totally
lineup.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Completely unrelated note, but isn't that the funniest thing that they're just like, here's a Lalandra head. I don't know. Figure it out.
Yeah, and with the mystique too. It's like this doesn't even have anything to do with
Yeah.
stuff. They're gonna do a screaming siren head, and it's gonna come with the most random character.
Maybe it'll come with Farrell to wrap up
There you go. That's a great idea, actually.
X Force.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Looks-
I'd be down for that. Yeah, just a matter of time. But yeah, these are really clean. And then you confirmed it when we were doing the stream last time. But that cape on Manta, magnets in the wrist and the chest, you said?
Yeah, so she has
man.
magnets glued to her chest and at the end of her wrist, and then on that cape, specifically placed are little magnets that hold it exactly where
In
it's supposed
place.
to be.
That looks
That's
so
very
clean.
cool.
That is
Posted out like that. That's insane.
Yeah,
love
and
magnets. They're
I
so
believe
fun.
it's a vinyl transfer and like the iron on vinyl onto the black. That's why it's so clean. It
Ooh.
does. And he mentioned it makes it a little stiff, but for that character, she's always like eagle spread wide. So
Right.
I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like
It
it's
totally
a shame not
works.
to have it like that.
Yeah, I don't really want it billowing. She's supposed to be kind of like a bounce board almost.
yeah, it's like
her
flowing
power.
almost,
That
right?
looks really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really,
Also-
really cool.
This is another one that is just a phenomenal example of like, I mean, look, I will never say that I'm a good painter, and there's been plenty of times in this where I've been like, yeah, my paint work will never compare, but I'm just baffled by how like specifically her legs. I mean, to get such a clean separation between white and black,
Yeah,
that is just
it's really
impressive
well
to
done.
me.
Yeah. Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah, it does look good. It looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I'm just sorry. I'm always enamored with the paint work that like so many people, like so many people are such good painters in this swap every time, and I'm just like, how did people?
We do have a lot of very good painters in the group for sure. Yeah, and this is no exception. This is very clean. I know there's a lot of official parts used here, but again, it goes right back to what we were saying earlier. Is it's like smart use of parts means less work when it comes to finishing time, right? So yeah,
it also means it's more fun because I can bend the hell out of these guys because I don't have to worry about.
You don't have to worry about it.
Paint areas. Yeah, I can get him in crazy poses. There's those ones that are very like delicate. Keep that where he is.
Yeah,
but these ones are perfect. Yeah, it's like you totally can tell it's a brand new character. It's not just something simple, and it's still just as posable as anything you buy off the shelf.
Oh yeah, those are super clean.
Yeah, they're really really nice. Did a great job. Good job to Hypno Hustler. All right, let's bring something else up here. Let's see here.
There is one that I would also like to call out. Again, I love the custom concept ideas. The Gwen tooth, Saber Gwen.
Yes.
Talking about
I was hoping Pim
was
gonna join us. He told me he would maybe, but he's like, it depends on if my insomnia lets me sleep tonight or not. So yeah, this was made by Pim Particles and received by Draven Arts, and it's his Gwen Tooth. It's his Gwen Stacy Sabretooth mashup. Feel free to speak it up there, Draven.
Dude.
I mean, I don't know what to say. He's another one where I'm just like, yeah, like I can only keep striving to be as good of a painter, but yeah, like his paint work on this is just, I mean, this is one of the many times where I'm like, oh yeah, why would you ever want that character made official? Because like that person did such a good job that it looks official.
Yep.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
It was just such a double whammy. It's got like not, of course, look at it. It's amazing sculpt and amazing paint, but the concept too.
Yeah,
it's like
exactly.
If you think of what does Gwen Stacy look like a Sabretooth, this is awesome.
Yeah,
it's such a great design. You totally could see it on a cover.
Yep, absolutely.
It's really just.
I didn't know this was a concept one. I thought it was some.
Yeah, this is his own design. He just kind of came up with this.
Yeah, it's totally legit.
Yeah, I love custom concepts. It's so cool to see what outfits and designs people come up with. Like, again, everybody does great, but I would love to see more of this in the swaps. Like, it's so cool to see what people can come up with.
There are a lot of, like, I bet you there's probably a good 10 or 15 lists that have like open concept ideas where it's just like fill your boots, do something like this.
Yep.
There's certain people that do a lot of that, but I would say that it is a relatively regular thing in these events to see people kind of give people creative reins to just do their thing. So, which is cool. It's cool. I mean, the thing is it's not for everyone, right? Like I've kind of tried my hand at it and it's like, I think it was okay, but like, for me, I like to have something to compare my work to. So it's like when I give myself free reign, sometimes it's easier for me to just be like, whatever.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's very daunting because it's not just can I execute on this thing I'm looking at. I have to come up with the thing I'm looking at.
Yes,
it's really, really daunting.
Especially hard when you are comparing it to like their previous costumes, and it's like, man, these costumes are all sick, and then there's this fucking shit that I'm making, and it's whatever, right? But yeah, this is not. This does not.
60 years old, they perfected it. Why am I
exactly? This does not fall in that category. This is just beautifully executed. And again, I'll say it again. I said it last week when we were going through this. Like, I have multiple figures from Pim from many one-on-one swaps I've done with him over the years. I've been fortunate enough to become friends with him. And his work is the kind of stuff that you get, and it's just like, it's super inspiring. It's just, it made me want to like up my paint game in the biggest way, because it's just, you get it and you're just like, how is this so crispy? How is this so
Mhm.
clean that it just
Yeah. Like does he do like masking techniques?
Yep. Oh yeah, he masks.
You should
he,
watch the reel on this.
Yeah,
It's
he
amazing.
did a little instructional kind of reel on covering
did
some of
he?
this.
Okay.
I think he might actually do some more of it. I think he like got some pretty good engagement off of it, so I think he plans on doing more of it.
Oh, cool.
But yeah, he's just a wealth of knowledge and just like even the way I finish my figures off. Like I remember with the first figure I got from him was a classic Shriek from Spider-Man. And I couldn't. I honestly like. I got it and I was like, man, what do you finish this with? Like, it's just fucking perfect. Like, it's shiny and it just looks so smooth. And he's like, honestly, I airbrush it with Pledged floor care, the stuff that we used to use to stiffen our like knee and elbow joints. You can't buy it anymore, which sucks. But I have the time. I treasure it. It's like this is all I have left of it. That's the last of it, and it's gone, and then it's gone. So it's like I treasure it. I don't want to.
For your last custom.
Yes, I found another one, like another floor care. I can't remember the ingredient in it that makes it like so smooth, but it doesn't work as good, but it works, but not as good. I probably won't stick with it, honestly. But yeah, it's like I remember when I got it, I said, "How the fuck do you get this so clean and so polished looking?" And he's like, "This is my secret." And then ever since then, I started using it because I'm just like, it makes such a huge difference. Your finished product just looks so official. Like,
and what did you say it's called again?
It's called Pledge Floor Care.
Really?
I used to buy it at the grocery store for like $6 for like a big ass thing of it, and like it lasted. I've only bought one in my lifetime, and I've been using it for I don't know 4 years, probably, maybe longer, 5 years, maybe. So, but
wow.
Yeah, you can't buy it anymore. They took it off the market in Canada and the US, which sucks. So, but yeah, it works great, and it just finishes the figure off like so freaking nicely. So, yeah, good job to Pim Particles. He fucking nailed it. I wanted to bring up another one of the ones that are one of my favorites. I mean, I have lots of favorites. It's hard to pick favorites, but I do have.
Yeah, it is.
I do have some. So this Static X by Ethan, who's the organizer here. He put this out in pretty quick time, but yeah, that fucking blue
is really
finish.
Cool.
And then like we kind of touched on it last week with the masking for the white lightning.
Yeah.
There's like some spots where like it kind of like right around here where it kind of like softened out, almost looked like it like bleeded a little bit out of the masking tape, and like it just looks so fucking good. Like I love that blue. I love that white. It's so bright, and it's super striking. And yeah, I have no attachment to this character. I barely know who it is. Like I know who it is, but like just enough to say I know who it is. But yeah, I think he turned out great. Did Ethan Wes put up more pictures? Let me see. I think he did.
I will say too, whenever I saw that one, I was so impressed by the fact that like, although most of the character's costume is like super dark, and like, you know, you would think that it would hide a lot of the sculpting of, you know, the original body, like that blue just, I mean, I don't know, that blue somehow completely counteracted that.
Yep.
Like
he's got the highlighting on it with the blue, right? So
yeah.
Is
it really does look like a
black body, or is it completely blue?
Yeah, it's a black
an
body.
Overspray. So
it's a black body with
an
overspray
of the blue.
Yeah, it's a Kid Omega.
Gotcha.
It's a Kid Omega body with a Turbo Dork blue overspray.
Yeah,
it's over the whole thing, or is it just the highlights?
I think it's over. I think it's angled from the top down, so it looks like it's just catching highlights.
That's really cool. It's really impressive. It's like you said, with the highlights and the shadows. It totally makes every little muscle pop.
Yeah.
Like simple, right? Like again,
Yeah.
we talked about, we keep talking. Oh shit, what did I do? I didn't have to do that. Simple but effective.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, where am I going here? Is this what I want? No, I want. There we go. Yeah, so you can see again. You can kind of see it a bit better in Nico's light, Artman Customs lighting here.
Yeah, it's really
But
cool.
yeah, super cool.
I love that shot. I know you guys
Me
mentioned it
too.
before, but just so cool
Yeah.
to see what is that?
Everything.
Possibly up to 6 years of different characters.
Yep,
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
it is very cool. Okay, guys, we have time for one more, and then I unfortunately have to boogie. I gotta go and take over for the wife so she can have some time to herself. Anything anybody wants to call forth? How about we talk about these ones as well, since we were just
Yeah.
talking about Nico? Oh, I'd like to have them.
Oh
Let me see if-
yeah.
let me see if I can, because these ones got kind of cut off of it. There we go. Let's do this. So Artman Customs did a twofer, and he did Caliban, and he did Slay Master, who I'm not as familiar with, but again, like I love this Caliban. This thing is
Yeah.
just fucking
Yeah.
That looks
beautiful.
perfect.
Like it's so fucking nice, and it's cool because it's such a weird mix of parts too. Like
I love the ripped clothing into the bare arms and legs. It's really
Super
cool.
effective. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Nico
Yeah,
always
they-
impresses me by how well he just nails like a comic book character in figure form.
Yep.
Like yeah, it's like he rips it off the page.
Yes, totally. I just thought
Yeah.
it was really cool use of like the skin, the not skin, the spot, like the Into the Spider-Verse spot for
The
the
very
skinny
skinny
arms and the
limbs,
legs kind of
yeah.
sticking out. Like I felt
Wait.
like that was like super smart.
Is that what he did?
It looks
What?
seamless. Like you can't really
Yeah.
tell. So it's
It
like
looked like that was one molded part.
Yeah.
So he used an
amazing.
Iceman from the Firestar and Spider-Man 3-pack torso, and then he used like a suited body, and then for the limbs, he basically like jigsaw cut out the sleeves and then inset the spot arms and legs into them, and
That
then
is
like sculpted so it
wild.
like rips over them. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
What and man,
I know. It's super crazy. And like
Was
to
that-
get such a finished, like
Yeah.
you can't even tell. Like you can't
No.
even
Yeah.
tell where
No.
he blended his new sculpt for all of this stuff. Like
No.
Was
And that
that
head
is the
sculpt.
Caliban head hand sculpted? Is that what that's
yeah, the head
called?
is sculpted by I think one of his friends, Gone
Okay.
Studio.
But not digitally. It looked like it was done physically. Is that right?
It might
He
be
showed like a
digital.
base head.
Oh, that base head was he actually switched heads from there. So
Okay.
when he
okay.
first brought it to me, he was using that 97 morph head that was kind of going around. But
Gotcha.
I know when we talked about it initially, he was like, I'm not like super sold on
Okay.
that head yet. And then when he came back to me at the end with the finished products, he had changed the head and he got his friend to do it. Yeah, his friend does like digital sculpting, so
Gotcha. That
the
head's
other
awesome.
head is digital. Yes, it's
There's no like. Sometimes you'll see this is the Legends interpretation of that comic character. There's no interpretation. That's just it. That's the head.
Yeah,
of
that
the
is it.
comic. That's
like that to this
Yeah.
is like
yeah.
fucking
He's
just perfect.
he's
right?
just wacky enough. He almost doesn't seem like he fits in with the line, but like that's
Yeah,
what he looks
totally.
like.
That's what. Yeah. Looks great.
Yeah, it does look great. He did a really good job. And I mean that painting that like salmon color too is not
Yeah.
a fun
Mhm.
color to paint either. So yeah. I also have a figure from Nico. I got it I think last summer
Yeah.
swap maybe.
yeah, you got
And
the,
like I got Nightcrawler. I got
yeah.
Uncanny X-Force Nightcrawler, and like I love it. It's so clean. Like it's just it's super smooth. So
That's cool.
not surprising, but
I don't know Slaymaster, but I just
Me neither.
that
Very
V
obscure
line
villain.
is so clean.
clean.
Oh my goodness.
all of it. Yeah. I mean, you can definitely tell that Nico paints for.
Yeah.
I know it's not his full job, but you can tell that is his side hustle because, like, yeah, that shit
It's
is.
such a hard
it
time
should
masking
be.
on musculature, but it's every line just works.
It's
Yeah,
perfect.
with the
Also, is that
sculptures.
mustache sculpted? Is that right?
Yeah, he sculpted the mustache and the beard. I think he has a
very
picture. There you go.
Green stuff.
Super.
And that helmet, even that helmet, like it's so
Yeah.
smooth.
Yeah. I was
Also-
so
It is.
frustrated trying to sculpt that mustache. That looks so good.
Fuck yeah.
I just realized too that he also got those white lines on the chest. I mean, they're just barely grazing where those butterfly joints are, like the butterfly cut.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
Mm.
right there.
oh, so clean.
It is clean.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I've always been impressed by Nico though, so
Me too. He's a very talented young man. So
yes, he is.
good stuff. But yeah, that Caliban, I remember when he sent me the initial pictures, I was like, fuck yeah, dude. This
That
is
is genius.
sick. Yeah, there's so many good ones. Honestly, I wish I could keep going. But yeah, next year I'll try to coordinate it a little differently, and I'll try to do like a longer forum for this and open it up to more people. But for today, we're gonna have to wrap it up. So thank you to the three of you, and thanks to Alex, and for everybody who
Thanks for
stopped
having us.
by.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cool.
thank you.
Yeah. You guys want to quickly just roll through and just tell everyone where they can find you guys? We'll start with you, Griffin.
So EG_figs on Instagram.
Awesome, man. Yes, go show him some love and check out some of his work. You've been posting a lot more lately too, it seems. So
Yeah, I have a stockpile.
A
There's
backlog?
difference between of like I just gotta take pictures of it, and a lot of that just always falls to the wayside because that's my least favorite part.
me too. Me too. I fucking hate
I got a
your
crappy
photos,
old
dude.
iPhone, but I got a new lens. I got my first macro lens for Christmas. So
Oh,
and
nice.
that's-
Oh, nice.
I don't know if it's doing anything, but I have to make it worth it.
Nice. Well, go show Griffin some love. Give him a follow on IG and check out his page and see what he's up to because he's doing some crazy awesome stuff. So,
Thank you.
Aiden, where can people find you, buddy?
You can find me at Lumpawaru_Baka on Instagram, which I should really change at some time, but not today. Hopefully my next post will not be a year from now. That would be cool.
Same.
So yeah, I have a lot of projects I want to get at. Hopefully they'll be finished, maybe even. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
So yeah, that
Hey,
was a lot
Don,
of fun.
I owe you, by the way, so hit me up if you ever need something sculpted.
Oh, it was the Zarathos, right?
Yeah, you were my
Yeah.
first ever. You were the first gift I ever got, and
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes, that one was
I love that.
a lot of fun. That was some of the most fun I've had making a figure for that
Yeah.
character.
Yeah, it
That's
was cool,
awesome.
man. It was super cool.
Oh, thank you.
And Draven, where can we
Oh,
find you? We'll be talking about you again pretty quick here because your figure will likely arrive in the next week. So
I sure
it
hope
will
so.
be relevant once again.
It's Inglorious Designs on Instagram. At some point, I'm gonna drop my Discord. I started a Discord. I just hop in there from time to time, and I'll stream me sculpting, and I have like friends that'll hop in and chat and stuff like that. And so, but yeah, Inglorious Designs. You can also find some of my stuff on Rogue Printing Machines Patreon. I'm part of their team now, and I sculpt weapons for them. Other than that, though, hit me up. I always like sculpting stuff for people because I can't think of stuff to sculpt for myself. So,
Fuck, I wish I had that problem.
yeah.
Never ending list of shit I'd love to do if I could do it. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much for your time and for participating. And
Yeah,
I hope
thank
that you
you.
guys
Yeah,
enjoyed
thank
the
you.
event this year. I know that I did, even though I didn't get to participate. It was everyone put their best foot forward and it was awesome. So kudos to all of you guys for what you guys put out there. Kudos to everybody else for everything they put out there. And yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see everyone next summer. That's probably the next time I'll do a live stream. It seems like the only time I stream now is when I do these. So
Biannually.
yes, that's right, biannually. So, but thank you to
That's
everybody
the only time I
joining us.
post.
Yeah, hey, that's all right. That's all right. The fact that some customizers in the event really only post for Secret Santa and Summer Swap. I mean, I always say it's a good thing because we're keeping people active. So I'll take that all day long. So fucking A. All right, everybody, have a great day. Enjoy your Sunday, and we will see you all next time.
Goodbye.
Peace out.
Peace.